The annual APEC summit meeting has ended, and Asia-Pacific leaders, including US President Donald Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, attended the virtual session hosted by Malaysia. Top on the agenda, COVID-19 and post-pandemic recovery, as well as the future of the bloc. Afifa Arifin joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Afifa, the meeting has ended. What was discussed and have the objectives been met?
That's right. So the closed-door meetings have just ended and all of the 21 APEC leaders were able to deliver their closing remarks for about 3 minutes each. And thereafter, they took a virtual family photo. It was the first of its kind with all of the leaders holding up the signed declaration, and that's called the 2020 Kuala Lumpur Declaration. Now, there was a lot of talk leading up to this summit, and that was the one most important objective that leaders needed to achieve, given that there hasn't been a leaders' declaration for the last 2 years for the region. And Mr. Muhyiddin, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, who is hosting this year's summit, said that officials worked until the 11th hour to achieve this consensus. And he said that this is what can be accomplished if the respective economies set aside the differences and focused on shared interests instead. Now, another priority that was on the agenda this evening was for APEC leaders to adopt a post-2020 vision, which of course contains enablers to drive the economic growth in the region for the next 20 years. And this was to replace the BOGO goals that were set in 1994. So a new goal was agreed upon by the leaders, and it's now named the Putrajaya Vision 2040. Of course, Putrajaya is the administrative capital of Malaysia, and the leaders of the APEC economies commit to an open, dynamic and resilient and peaceful Asia-Pacific community for the next 20 years. So the chairmanship was also handed over from Malaysia to the next hosts, which is New Zealand. I'm speaking very briefly. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said that, there has never been a more important time for the APEC region to work together to achieve an exclusive, sustainable and economic future. And she laid out briefly the priorities that New Zealand has set out for APEC in 2021, including long-term future goals. And she said that, although the meetings could possibly be held virtually, she welcomed all ideas from all the members in APEC.
Okay, Mayor, thanks for getting us up to speed with that. Afifa Arifin speaking to us from Kuala Lumpur.